was and the best there ever will be. And you know it.
With a tear in my eye.
The cream of the crop.
Acknowledge me.
Episode 419 of Top Rope Nation. I'm your host tonight, Jesse Velasquez, side by side with Justin Joint. How are you on this Monday night?
Besides from me being a moron, I'm doing pretty good. I apologize to anybody out there who was waiting for us at our scheduled start time of 8:15, and I just forgot to hit join. I was in what I thought the waiting room, waiting for Jesse to let me in, and yeah, that was on me. My bad, guys and gals.
Life happens. The NBA Finals happens. I think that's what we're blaming things on tonight.
Let's do that. Let's blame that.
I would. There's a lot going on in New York right now. We got a 2-point game. It was a 10-point game a little bit earlier. So for those who are watching on a side screen, tonight is going to be super free flowing. Going to chat quite a bit of AEW, a little bit of match of the year conversation, and maybe a quick little 2 questions for Justin in terms of a greatest wrestler ever list, which was fully announced a couple of weeks ago. That being said, let's roll with this first. TRN patrons, as always, thank you so much for your support. We just finished recording ECW Barely Legal 97 last Thursday. I would say it was a solid show, a little over 2 hours.
I had a blast.
Yeah, it was fun. Got to see Terry Funk in all his glory and cut open a vein. That was brutal. So shout out to all the patrons. We thank you for the feedback. Ryan's been doing a little bit of merch hawking as well. Made some Top Rope Nation inspired or some ECW inspired Top Rope Nation gear all the way down to the 9s. I'm going to have a rock glass in order here very, very soon on that. I think Ryan will probably be sending out his voting process for June's classics here very, very soon. He is unable to join us this evening, so it's just going to be the two of us. And as we said, this is going to be super free flowing. So here we go. We are about 3 weeks away from AEW's Forbidden Door. And the build has been very slow outside of the Owen, which I think should probably be of the utmost importance when it comes to that show. Justin, I know you had a couple of things specifically on last week's Dynamite. If you want to hit on those right away.
Yeah, they're just nothing major. It was a show I thought was really good. I really enjoyed it. I hope they continue with these interactions between Lio Rush and Conglomeration. The fact that if you stay still, Lio Rush can't see you, I thought was dumb and hilarious. I really enjoyed that. So that group and Leo is kind of a perfect combination. But for as much as I enjoyed the show, I mean, MJF and Roosh knocked it out of the park. I thought that match was fantastic. And Ospreay and Mark Davis was absolutely incredible. It's one of those rare matches where a bunch of run-ins doesn't bother me, and if anything, adds to the match. But my nitpicks, I got 2 of them. And I guess I'm going to start with the minor one first. And let me know what you think, Jesse, because we've been, for months now, trying to forecast what we assume the big matches for All In is going to be. And a big part of that is, who's going to win the Owen Hart Cup. My assumption is that Tekla is going to be the women's world champion going into All In. And my assumption was that Mercedes Moné would be her challenger, because with Toni Storm on the shelf, that to me kind of felt like the biggest match they got. So I was kind of expecting Mercedes to come back as a baby face, or, at least more of a baby face, because, she had all those titles, and unlike prior wrestlers who have accumulated a bunch of different belts, she dropped the vast majority, or at the very least made an effort to. And, she just didn't vacate them. But she really wrestled like a heel on Wednesday against Alec Windsor. I was very surprised at that, especially the way it ended with her not relinquishing the submission hold. And that just kind of has me questioning as to what the heck are we going to do for All In? Obviously there's a lot of time. And maybe they're just testing the waters with her to see what kind of fan reaction she'll get throughout the weeks. But I don't know. I guess I was just expecting a little bit more of a baby face. How about you, Jesse?
I would agree with 90% of it. I don't know if she wrestled heel because Alex Windsor has been the babyface for the
Mhm.
last handful of months. And maybe that's the only reason she wrestled that way. She's wrestling Hazuki, who I would probably consider neutral. I don't know how much babyface attention she's going to garner from an AEW crowd, considering she wrestles overseas and how
Yeah.
good she is. And yeah, she defeated Persephone on Saturday night. So it was a battle of the two CMLL champions, the main, and I just didn't know this until today. There's a CMLL Japan champion.
Hmm.
She's it.
All right. Well, I just learned that now.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very small world. Just looking over the results on that. So that is a rematch from a couple of years ago, New Japan Strong, when those two faced off. It was an excellent match, and Monet ended up winning. But yeah, she did, and it was really odd with her not relinquishing the hold afterward. I
And
know
that's
that
like,
her. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and that is a very heelish thing in wrestling. Like, it's one thing to kind of wrestle like a heel. We see baby faces do that all the time. Shit, we watched that for decades with Hulk Hogan, where he was the biggest baby face in the world, but wrestled like a heel. But just to see her not let go of the hold is just like, well, I guess that she's just going to stay a heel.
Shout out to Dante, who was there in Richmond, Virginia,
Yeah.
and gave us the report that said that Mercedes people were in shock that she showed up, which was amazing to me because I thought writing was on the wall that she was going to show up. I didn't know who else it could have possibly been in that spot, with the tag team division being tied up with a couple of names that I could have thrown in there, but maybe a Britt Baker. But even then, it's like, no, that's not the way to go right now in 2026. So I thought Mercedes was obvious, and Dante said the crowd was surprised, and it sounded like it when she came out. She got a really good reaction, good reception, but then, like you said, confused us by wrestling a heelish style. So it's a good nitpick.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could go Athena winning the Owen Hart and advancing, because didn't Mercedes knock out Athena last year in the Cup?
Semifinals. Yep.
I think part of the reason why some fans weren't expecting it to be Mercedes is because some fans, me kind of included, thought that maybe Alex Windsor could be somebody to go on to Wembley Stadium and challenge for the women's title. Obviously, when you have like a mystery wild card coming in, you assume they're going to win. But now at this point, I would assume Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter maybe challenge for the tag titles at Wembley instead. But that just leaves, what will be the women's title match, and what is Mercedes going to be doing?
It's an excellent question. We have not had a women's repeat winner. We haven't had a men's repeat winner either. So, I mean, yeah, this is the fifth year of the Owen Hart Cup. We had repeat finalists in the past. We have a repeat finalist this year on the men's side of things.
Yeah. Or no.
The finalist, yeah, Will Ospreay was in the finals of the Cup last year and lost.
Oh,
to Hangman
okay.
Page
I
at
thought you were
Double or
saying.
Nothing.
I thought you were saying both guys. I thought like a repeat of the final.
Yep, just Ospreay
Gotcha.
only. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and Hangman's home state of Virginia as well, which MJF called out, that told Justin Roberts to announce that he can never challenge for the title again.
Yeah, I like that. That was good. Just
Me
to
too.
remind everybody.
Yeah, so I mean, you got that in the Owen. I still would lean Mercedes. I just don't know if Athena's that
too.
over yet, as much as I would like to see Athena get there.
Yeah, I think they've got a lot of work to do on the women's side to build this story out, and I got faith that they can do that. And speaking of at least trying to have faith in a storyline, Jesse, scratching my fucking head as to why Kevin Knight had to join the Don Callis family. And number one, I like the Don Callis family. I like that it's just this giant group of heels. And it's not like one major heel and then just a bunch of jobbers. It's like we got, upper mid-carders to main eventers all over the place there. But man, I was really hoping for something different with Kevin Knight. That was a real letdown, especially the way they did it. They just like kind of nonchalantly announced that he's joining the group. And it especially made worse with them, like the previous week, kind of teasing maybe some different alliances. And especially the one I was hoping for would be Kevin Knight and Swerve joining forces. So I don't know, man. Again, I have faith that they have a plan. But it's just confusing because like Kyle Fletcher had already made overtures that he wanted his TNT title back, but now, well, the TNT title is in the group. Not that, Don Callis is constantly making his guys fight each other. I mean, we just, Takeshita and Okada as a prime example, but that just feels like kind of treading over the old same storylines. So I don't know. That was a real wind out of the sails moment for me.
Don Callis was so excited that his teeth fell out when he announced Kevin Knight.
That. Even the commentary team got a kick out of that.
The newest member of the family. So it looks with the direction of Kyle Fletcher, though, it looks like him and Takeshita will be battling down the line here. That's a possible all-in match, which I highly recommend that one. Jeez, don't have to twist my arm at all to sell me on it. Those are two of the best in-ring workers going. Zero question there. Yeah, Kevin Knight, super confusing. I would have definitely gone the Swerve Strickland route too, especially because they've been linked since the beginning of the year when Swerve's like, when are you going to join the dark side? What's going on with you? And Kevin finally does it and doesn't really seem like, they didn't really make a pitch for it exactly.
And there's just a cool factor with both of those guys. And with the Don Callis family, I would say the only person in there who has some cool factor is Andrade, where everybody else is like, even someone like Kyle Fletcher, who I love, is just kind of a dork. They're all kind of dorks in a way, which, I love them for it, but man, just Kevin Knight and Swerve felt kind of destined.
It did. And not only that, I would say that Kevin Knight, other than maybe 2 or 3 of his signature moves, wrestled like a heel against Mike Bailey, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, totally agree.
Got to scale back a little bit. And I'm assuming that is not the end of their feud, because you break up a pretty damn good tag team like Jet Speed. And if you throw it away with one match on TV with like 2 weeks notice, it's not really the greatest of looks, but I can definitely look past it.
Kind of and sandwiched in between other kind of higher profile matches. It really didn't get a spotlight. I would have almost preferred to see that like headline a Collision or something.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, prime example, you guys got to see Okada and Kevin Knight at Collision in Iowa.
Yes, sir.
Best match of that week.
We were just talking about this in our Discord about, wanting Collision to be put up on a little bit higher of a pedestal, or, at least more even with Dynamite. And that would have been a way to do it. Put a prime match like that on TV.
It has its moments where it is on par with a Dynamite. Case in point, it's the only one I have saved on my Sling DVR, is the Christmas edition of Collision when it was the last day of the C2 before.
Ooh, yeah.
That is probably the best top to bottom Collision in the history of the company.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get much arguments from me. Yeah, now off the top of my head, I can't think of one better.
Because, I mean, there's been great moments. There's been great matches. I mean,
Yes.
we could go over and over with that, with MJF and Omega, FTR and Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the 2 out of 3 falls tag. It was amazing. I mean, Punk's even had a couple of moments on Collision at a good match with Ricky Starks. And yeah, tons of moments. So, yeah, you would like to see Collision get elevated a little bit more. And it also gets thrown into that Thursday time slot on occasion when, case in point, I mean, the NBA and NHL playoffs have just moved to the finals, so you're seeing less of it. But yeah, just that consistency. Get it on a weeknight. That might be the best way to go there.
Yep. But yeah, man, I don't know. It felt like they have this set number of people they want in the Don Callis family, like this quota they have to meet. Takeshita's out, so we got to bring somebody else in. It feels like Andrade could be leaving soon. So I don't know. Again, I've got faith that there is a plan, and we just kind of need to let it play out. At least that's what I'm keeping my fingers crossed for, because otherwise, a very uninspiring choice to have him go in there.
And he's still making a push to be AEW champion.
Yeah. Okay. And why would anybody who has those aspirations want to join the Don Callis family? Because that has not bore any fruit.
Yeah, like no one in that Andrade, I would say, is one, but again, he's probably on the way out soon.
Yep.
That's one. Okada's never really threatened to try to take the title. Fletcher's mentioned it kind of, but not really. Takeshita had that title shot against Darby Allin. That might have been it was like one of the two best matches I think that Darby had during that run.
Oh yeah.
But you're right, that hasn't been a super focal point. And now let's actually head to somebody from the Don Callis family. I remember making a comment about the Dynamite in 2025 I went to, when Mark Davis had a wrestling match, and I can't remember who it was against. And I was like, who actually kind of impressed me on this night? Mark Davis. I was like, I have no idea why. And we fast forward now.
Yeah.
And I know that he wrestled Will Ospreay, who can make anybody look good. However, I think Davis the last couple of months has taken a couple of steps forward.
I mean, he's been rock solid this entire year so far. They started with the tag team with him and Doyle, which unfortunately didn't last very long, but they kept him in there. He had a really good match with Hangman earlier in the year. He had a good match with Moxley earlier in the year. They can just kind of put him in there with anybody, and he's going to be rock solid. Both the Ospreay matches I thought were fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Just picture it. If Mark Davis doesn't get hurt, Aussie Open, it might still be a thing. Did you picture that tag team division and how sorely needed that team would be? But you wouldn't get that Kyle Fletcher emergence right now.
I mean, that would be a good use for all these members of Don Callis family. Let's just put a couple of them together, have them go after the tag titles.
Yeah, it's a little late, I think, for Fletcher and Davis to reunite, because, it would be easy to throw them into the tag team title picture, have them win it, hold it for a good 4 to 6 months, and then move on. Especially if you have plans for, we mentioned the other guy that Davis wrestled, Will Ospreay. Maybe Fletcher is the next in line to take it. If, of course, that happens still.
Yeah. Isn't it weird, or maybe not weird, but surprising that of the quote unquote big men in AEW, that Mark Davis got singles gold before Brody King? Like, if I had told you that like a month ago, 2 months ago, I think you would have been pretty shocked by that. I'm a little worried about Brody King right now. He's one of my favorites, but it seems like he gets micro pushes just to lose to somebody bigger, and I think that's, it's going to be happening again this Wednesday with Swerve Strickland.
I was going to say he needs that one big win. He had it against MJF in 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I don't really count that, because it was so short. It was executed perfectly, but I don't really feel like that counts as a big win when it was really just a setup for, Grand Slam Australia.
Well, then I'll ask you this question, because there's another guy, I was going to say a former tag team partner of his, but it wasn't. Mark Briscoe looks to be next in line for at least a title shot against MJF, and his signature win was against MJF at All Out last year in the tables and tax match.
Yes, yeah.
He's almost in that similar situation with Brody King. However, the one thing he does have over Brody is he's held the TNT Championship.
Yeah, Mark definitely feels more bulletproof and can eat way more losses without hurting his credibility, just because he's been around for fucking 30 years, it feels like. They're going to have a great match. Obviously, I can't imagine any scenario where Mark Briscoe takes the title from MJF, but it's kind of a good stopgap until, we get to the next step and to whatever this reign of MJF is going to look like. Do you think this goes all the way to Forbidden Door?
Them?
Yeah, Mark Briscoe and MJF.
Ooh. I had an inkling at first that somebody from outside was going to challenge MJF, and now I don't see that anymore.
Yeah, I got a feeling this year we might not be seeing all that much from other promotions. And if we do, it'd probably primarily be CMLL, I would guess. Because, we were talking, now I have lost my train of thought. A big match that you had mentioned for All In. Fletcher and Takeshita. I think that'll be a Forbidden Door match.
Jeez, that's way too soon. Way too soon. I mean, it's that's the positive thing about AEW, which is a weird thing to say, is you still have guys that haven't touched and wrestled each other over the course of 7 years, still in your back pocket somehow. Even though we're like, oh, you might have wasted that one. Oh, you might have wasted that one. They still pull
Well,
something out of their back pocket.
and with AEW, unlike, a certain other promotion, a lot of their stories, a big part of them is multiple matches. It's not just promos in the ring where they, talk for 10 to 15 minutes. You're usually going to get a lot of matches in these big feuds, and that's, part of the way they tell stories.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. You
Yeah.
get you don't get as much 50-50 booking, I think, in AEW. You do get some of it, but not nearly as much as the other American promotion right now, where it's almost telegraphed that they're going to do it. I mean, we've seen Swerve get 2 consecutive wins against Hangman Page. We've seen Jay White win a whole bunch against Hangman, and Hangman never get it back. I mean, yeah, they're not afraid, and I think that was something I used to criticize them for, was not putting the big guys head to head. Now I think Tony Khan's showing a little bit less trepidation in putting two guys together that you don't think should lose,
I mean,
and also giving somebody 2 consecutive wins against that guy.
I mean, I guess this isn't 2 consecutive wins, but we've had 2 Swerve and Omega matches this year, both on just national TV, not even on pay-per-view. So he's definitely not afraid of putting those out there for sure.
So I just saw a bump in our viewership. Shout out to all of you out there. Don't hesitate. Throw something in the chat. We actually got hit up with more super chats last week than I think we've had ever on the show. So I mean, if you'd like to contribute, you most certainly can do that, but don't feel obligated to do so. Where was I going to go with AEW? Let's go back to Brody King, because just because you mentioned him, you know he's going to put on a fantastic match with Swerve. I loved their match at I think it was Revolution. Yeah, it was Revolution.
Yes.
So I think they're going to do it again. But like you said,
there's no way he's winning, right? I mean, this is definitely gearing up for Swerve and Ospreay too. Or would it be 3? 3, correct.
Those guys, yeah. And Swerve holds a win, and they'd had a 30-minute draw on TV.
Yep.
So this is a rematch at Forbidden Door from 2 years ago.
Yep. From when Swerve was world champion, defending against Will Ospreay. So,
man.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see any way Brody King wins this, but gosh, I do. I hope they have something for him to chew on the rest of the year.
If they don't, would you mind them going back to Brodito?
No, I was just wearing my Brodito shirt yesterday. So yeah, I would have 0 problems with that. I think that'd be a perfect use for both guys.
Especially since you just split up Jet Speed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we think, we can quickly bounce to the tag team division. We think a couple of new teams will be coming in very early August, at least one. They're really hinting at it now with being the Elite and the Young Bucks a couple of times. I think in like consecutive sentences saying the words New Day.
Yeah, and I guess that's probably the issue with maybe wanting to go back to Brodito is it's a good issue because it does feel like, the tag team division is slowly starting to get rolling, and I don't see how they're going to fit into the championship scene with Cope and Cage and FTR and Young Bucks. That feels like those 3 are going to at least eat up the rest of the summer.
Yes. Yep. And then it's just a matter of the fall, because we don't think that Cope and Christian are going to retain. We would assume that one of the other teams are going to wrestle back those tag titles, and we'll see what happens with Cope and Christian from there. It's almost irrelevant, I think, at this point.
And then, come the fall, we'll probably be looking at, whoever is the champ feuding with New Day.
Mm-hmm. I want to see, I know we're forecasting it, but how they're going to be presented.
Same, very much. That's going to be very interesting because, there's only so much they can take copyright-wise from their WWE run. And it for better or worse, it felt, that music was such a big part of the presentation of the New Day. And so AEW has been fantastic for the most part of of coming up with music that really fits the characters on their own, people that have jumped ship. So not too worried about it, but yeah, very curious, just like you, how they're going to be presented.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I'm most curious about is the in-ring, especially with Xavier, because I never felt like he truly got a chance to go in the ring. Kofi, I'm not too worried about. He's kind of getting up there in age too, but he'll be able to do his thing. But Xavier's the one who I think has another gear to him.
I hope so. I really do. I know I said it about a month ago. I was like, yeah, give that dude a singles run somehow. That roster is full of just talent, though. It's going to be hard for him to kind of carve a niche in there. You take advantage of the fresh car smell when you walk into AEW, like Tommaso Ciampa did, prime example. Because look where he is right now. Unfortunately, stuck with 1,004 reasons why he hates Chris Jericho. I'm sure some of us might have listed those reasons in there too. So
he's on he's on one of my matches for match of the year so far.
Yeah, let's get to that in about 1 minute. So okay. I'm going to go back to Forbidden Door. We got Tekla probably wrestling a Stardom performer. I would assume that's going to happen.
Yeah, that definitely seems the direction.
Yeah, and then outside of that, though, like you just said, it could be Fletcher Takeshita. We got Ospreay Swerve.
Yep,
MJF Briscoe, like you said, possibly.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. I mean, would they do Mystico and MJF again?
That's what I had pinned.
Okay.
Yes, I did. Especially in San Jose, California.
Because Mystico beat him in Arena Mexico, correct?
Yes, he did.
So maybe this is be a way for MJF to get his win back. But boy, not a lot of time to do this quick Mark Briscoe feud and then jump into something else right away. Yeah, I don't know what other. Do you think we're going to be seeing any New Japan guys at Forbidden Door?
I think it's a possibility. And the only reason that I do is that the Chicago is hosting day 1 of the G1 Climax.
So they'll be stateside?
A couple of them will.
Okay.
I would imagine so. It might be a couple of guys that maybe they're not heading back for Dominion, because Dominion will be maybe a few days before the G1 starts. I'd imagine like probably July 5th, I would assume. Yeah, because that's on a Sunday.
Is that the one that Ospreay's going to miss because he's getting married?
That could be. Was it July 5th? I was maybe July 16th. I can't remember what day, but it was right around that time. Yeah, him and Alex Windsor. That could be part of the reason why Windsor's not getting a push towards the women's championship, that is.
That's kind of a no-brainer now that you said that.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think she's ready either. She doesn't feel like world championship material yet. No.
And then I think the last one we can talk about before match of the year is another guy who's been bulletproof this year, Jon Moxley. He loves his interactions with Japanese performers, so like who do they throw at him? If I selfishly would love a little Shingo Takagi love and have them just battle it out and for about 20 minutes.
I wouldn't hate that. I'd be down for that. I mean, honestly, and we'll kind of get to this with our match of the year, is I have not really been locked in with New Japan, so I don't have a great feel for where everybody is at and how they could connect with the AEW side.
Yeah, I always point people to Speaking of Strong Style with Stephen Conway and Jeremy Feinstein. That has actually become a weekly listen for me on rotation. They just wrapped up the Best of the Super Juniors, so now we're going to get a full focal point on the heavyweights.
Did you get to watch any of it? Best of the Super Junior?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
They had an underwhelming winner.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Bummer. But I think it sounded like Nick Wayne had a pretty good performance in the Best of the Super Junior, so that was good to hear.
Not even of legal drinking age yet.
It's wild.
He's been in the promotion for now 3 years, which is nuts.
That is nuts.
He's nowhere near his potential. Not even close.
Nope.
Yeah, like when do you does he turn 24 and then it's like, all right, give this kid a main event push? I mean, that's still 4 years down the road.
Well, that's what's going to be interesting if he can beef up a little bit, because I mean, he's got decent height to him. I mean, he's got to be what? Do you think is he taller than Ospreay?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I feel like he is. Maybe I can
I
look
would
that
guess
up quick.
same. I would guess same height.
Same height? I'm going to look that up real
Do
quick
it.
here.
So the assumption for me would be 6'1".
Well, fucking Wikipedia has Will Ospreay listed at 6'1", and there's no fucking way.
I think you and Ryan both have said he's shorter than that.
I am 5'10". When I'm being generous to myself, I'll say 5'11". And I've walked right by Will Ospreay, and I'm pretty sure he's shorter than me.
Okay.
So definitely don't buy 6'1". I don't know where we could get something accurate from.
Then Nick Wayne is definitely taller than Will Ospreay. It's those elevated heels and the boots.
Wikipedia has him at 6'1" too. So
Okay.
I'd guess both of them around 5'9".
I could look eye to eye with Nick Wayne. Doesn't look like I would. His mom looks taller than he does. His mom looks tall.
Yeah.
Guess
and she looms tall in my thoughts.
Yeah. That's a phenomenal transition into the match of the year contenders. Yeah, we're not quite 6 months in yet, not quite to the halfway point. I think Ospreay and Swerve is the only match left in this month that has a shot at getting thrown in this match of the year contendership category, of course, if it happens. But thus far, Justin, there have been some really, really good ones. But for me, there's probably been like 2 or 3 standouts, but it's also 3 matches I think that are lesser than what we've seen in the last couple of years. So, I mean, give me some of your thoughts so far.
So that was the interesting thing to me. To me, there is, and I guess just to warn anybody that's out there listening, my wrestling viewership has been very limited this year. I officially gave up on WWE, so there'd be no WWE matches on my list. New Japan has just not grabbed my attention enough, except for one match.
Mm-hmm.
So I have not watched very much New Japan. I really haven't had time for CMLL. But so basically my entire list would be exclusively AEW. And in preparation for this pod, I'm kind of thinking back. I'm looking at lists, and yeah, just like you, I just talking AEW, there are probably a dozen matches that I have loved that are right around that 4-star range, if not higher. But truly, nothing to me feels like it has a real chance to be match of the year, AEW wise. Because for me, I want something great in the ring. I want something that feels significant in the moment and has legs for the future. So, like a lot of these AEW matches, especially some of the stuff on Dynamite, kind of just feels like a one-off. So I don't feel like that has the oomph to put it in that match of the year category. Like I'll just like the first Swerve Omega match. I loved it, but doesn't really feel like a match of the year. Darby Ciampa was amazing. Loved it. To me, that was more about like another signifier that, holy crap, this Ciampa, this AEW version of Ciampa is incredible. And it was the first signifier of what this Darby title reign was going to look like. I loved it. I'm not quite as high as other people on Okada Takeshita.
Same.
Amazing. What else did I have? Swerve Bandito is a possible candidate just because that is part of the Owen Hart Cup. So it has significance, happened on a pay-per-view, and it was just a match I loved. There was stuff in that match that I had not seen before. Those two gelled amazingly. The match didn't overstay its welcome. It left me wanting more. Bandito, we've said this for a long time. The argument could be made that he is the best in-ring wrestler of the past year. And I'm not just talking 2026. I'm all the way back to 2025. And then Darby Takeshita is another one. But I would kind of lump that in with Darby Ciampa, where it was just kind of part of this bigger Darby storyline. Great match, but, a year from now, is it one we're really going to think of that much? So for me, it clear as day, match of the year, Okada Tanahashi from Wrestle Kingdom. You know, it gave me the feels. I really doubted that Tanahashi still had that level of match in him, but you know, he saved just enough in the tank to put on that kind of show. And obviously, you know, Okada's on my list twice, so he's having just an absolutely incredible year. It feels like the Okada of New Japan has finally arrived in AEW this year. Just a world-class performance from both of them on one of the biggest stages you'll have, the brightest spotlight, perfect send-off for Tanahashi, all the feels. That pretty easily my match of the year so far.
You hit on a good chunk of a few of like the ones I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna go 2 from the WWE. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, their main event at WrestleMania 42 was very good. I mean, that's the WWE promotional match of the year. I like that a little bit more than the AAA match of the year, the El Grande Americanos, which is getting a lot of press right now. It should be. I still think that's a touch overrated too. Convolution kind of adds things up in my book, and like it either adds or subtracts to the match, and it definitely subtracted from that one for me. But the story and the crowd response will tell completely different responses, because there's a lot of people out there that go, holy crap, I haven't been that emotionally invested in a WWE match in ages, and it was something from AAA.
It would be the most WWE thing ever for have the match of the year in AAA to be between two white guys.
Give Ludwig Kaiser credit for speaking Spanish, and he's pretty close to fluent these days. I think that's a good reason why Hispanic fans have drawn to him. He's speaking Mexican Spanish. There's a difference, folks, between Spanish and Mexican Spanish. AEW, there's one match that I wanted to mention because you mentioned Bandito and his in-ring prowess. This, as for a match for being a match, Andrade and Bandito was, oh man. That might be my favorite match in AEW so far this year.
I thought you were going to say another one I forgot, Bandito and MJF.
Which was very good too.
Yeah.
Yes. I had a handful of others. We mentioned Hangman MJF. I liked a lot. I love the way that it ended.
Yeah. That there was just, we talked about it in the review. Too much in the middle for me. Loved the start, loved the finish, but just drug on too long, which, you know, it's funny. I think that's why I love MJF's TV matches so much, because he does have the time constraint that he just can't go for 40 minutes just because that's what they think a pay-per-view main event should be. Which, like, you know, it was the same thing with Double or Nothing, where the time constraints kept, you know, the main event from going too long. I think that was a nice tight 23 minutes for an AEW pay-per-view match. So yeah, MJF knocking it out of the park on TV this year.
Yes. Character-wise too. I think the three guys that are standing out for me are in ring are three guys you mentioned already. You nailed it. Bandito, Takeshita, Okada.
Yeah.
Because there was another Takeshita. Oh, it was Takeshita's match with Jon Moxley at
Revolution.
I believe that was Revolution as well.
Yeah.
That has super slow build to it and just hit a crescendo. And they were that length was perfect. And that is definitely in the argument for AEW's match of the year as well.
That was very good.
A match that I loved because these two have great chemistry. Kyle Fletcher, Speedball, Mike Bailey. Also on a Dynamite. Darby, Kevin Knight. I mean, like anything Darby related.
I was going to say, yeah. I would actually lump Darby in there with Bandito, Takeshita, and Okada. Okada is just, for the pay-per-view matches, he absolutely brings it. You know, in the Collision match with Kevin Knight, I saw he was fantastic. But just from a TV to TV for a Dynamite, I still think Bandito, Darby, Takeshita are a level above him. And that's probably just effort. You know, I'm sure he's saving himself for those big matches.
Oh, he absolutely has to. He's taken so many bumps in New Japan, some of that stuff. Today is, well, overseas it is. In 3 hours, it's the anniversary of Okada Omega from Dominion. Some people's greatest match ever.
That's right. The 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah. How I managed to stay awake for that and watch it live, I still don't know. I was starting to nod in the first 25 minutes and I started running around the room a little bit and get the blood flow going again. It was well worth it in the end. But yeah, that match was incredible. I mean, looking at this list right now, Fletcher and Ciampa had a singles match on Dynamite. Ciampa's another
Fantastic
name
one.
you mentioned. For me, it's the same. It has to be Tanahashi and Okada from Wrestle Kingdom. 40,000 fans in a time where New Japan is not drawing whatsoever. They just sold their TV rights for, I heard this on the radio and on a podcast. I can't believe this is true. $22 million.
Is that good?
That is low.
Okay.
Think of like AEW. You would think like they're getting $185 million a year. WWE is almost close to the billions right now. New Japan, $22 million.
Wonder what they would have gotten in their height. I just obviously I don't have a good feel for the Japanese economy, especially when it comes to New Japan or pro wrestling in general.
Yeah, it's down right now, and one of the biggest mistakes they made, which we've said, is that the Ospreys, the Okadas, the Jay Whites, they all left, but they also didn't put any of the young guys over out the door.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to throw back one of the best rivalries, for sure this century in New Japan, Okada and Tanahashi. It's almost like it's impossible for them to have a bad match, even if Tanahashi's knees are older than my dad's.
I mean, that match is incredible. Like I already said, just what he was able to do considering those old knees.
So, yeah, I think, we're definitely unanimous in that aspect. And I'd be curious to hear Ryan's take on his match of the year. Because there's been some ratings in there he's thrown that have been close to 5. He was higher on Okada Takeshita, I think, than anybody that I know. Well, other than Meltzer, of course. But
yeah,
Meltzer's another thing.
I mean, it was the last 6-7 minutes was absolutely perfect. Just pitch perfect, but start to finish, I don't know if I could quite get to those 5 stars.
Okada as a heel, playing that night and just doing some of the things that he did, the mannerisms. Oh man, yeah, that's what's vastly underrated for Kazuchika Okada are his facials and his selling ability. Phenomenal stuff. Justin, all right, I got one question for you on this GWE list. We'll just leave you with
all
one.
Right. Let's do it.
All right. I am looking at 2 guys that are separated by 2 spots on my list. They're separated.
This is your list?
My list.
Okay.
They're separated by 29 according to the 485 voters that took place in this thing.
Okay.
Who would you take? Rey Mysterio or Shawn Michaels?
What is the time frame for this list?
It's the whole career.
Shawn
career.
Michaels.
You're Shawn Michaels.
By quite a bit, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole thing. I mean, for one, he was true blue, main eventer, attraction, and I love Rey Mysterio. He is one of the greatest luchas of all time, but for the vast majority of his career, especially speaking WCW and WWE, he's a mid-carder. They gave him a little cup of coffee with the world title, I think twice. The first time felt very much like this one's for Eddie, maybe not so much for Rey. And then the second time, I think he won it and lost it in one night.
Yes.
So, obviously not a great promo. That is not really his thing. Shawn probably overrated in the promo department, but he's still really good. And I mean, just asshole Shawn from the mid to late 90s is just some of the best stuff in the world. It made wrestling more entertaining than it had any right to be. From his feud with Brett to the Click and their curtain call in MSG. But I mean, you think about classic moments in matches, and I just feel Sean's got Ray beat by miles. You know, um, both of them have probably inspired an entire generation in different ways. But man, Sean is, I mean, to me, he was special.
His career spanned, so he missed 21 years. It's like 84, 85 till 2010. And he missed 4 years in between there. So 21 years. Ray's still going. I think he's in the 30s, which is nuts. And he's missed a couple of years too with all the injuries that he's had taken place. And his junior heavyweight lore, I mean, he's considered to be probably one of the 3 greatest junior heavyweights that's ever lived.
Agree.
Probably throw Liger in that conversation and somebody else in there if you want to. And beloved not only in Mexico, but also the United States. Michael's prime to me was better.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, like late 95 until very early 98 when Taker busted his back. Like those years overtake a lot of things that Ray did. Like Ray for me is known for Ray Eddie Halloween Havoc 97.
Yeah. I mean, that's when I think of Rey Mysterio, it's that, but that was a long time ago, early in his career. And it kind of felt like the highlight. I mean, he is undoubtedly an icon, but an icon like that shouldn't so easily get lost in the shuffle like he has so many times in his career, especially with WWE.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. I mean, because he had good feuds with Eddie Guerrero later on in 2005. I keep going back to Eddie. Sean was able to go with Brett, to go with Diesel, pull some stuff out of the hat with him, Sid, which is amazing. I mean, Taker, for whatever reason, they had tremendous chemistry together. Even if those last 2 WrestleMania matches are overrated, I think they're a little bit, but they're great.
They're still classics.
Yeah, so many more moments. So I need to almost revamp my list here. I actually had Rey Mysterio higher by 2 spots.
You did? Oh, wow. Okay.
I did.
I'm assuming then you have Eddie higher than both of them.
I sure do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's an interesting conversation, Eddie and Sean. Do you have him a lot higher?
I do, actually.
Oh, okay.
Let's go. Not a lot, but okay. So I have Eddie 5 spots higher than Ray and 7 spots higher than Sean.
Okay. That's not too bad. I was worried you were going to say something like 20 spots or something.
No. I'll throw this one at you then. We'll close it with this. Eddie Guerrero or Dwayne Johnson?
I mean, this is one of those questions like, for one, what are you grading them on, and what is most valuable to you as an individual? Like, there's also the question of the Michael Jordan and LeBron James discussion of, do you value a shorter but higher peak, or do you value more longevity but maybe not quite as high of a peak? And I mean, Rock is one of the biggest stars in professional wrestling history. He is miles ahead of Eddie Guerrero in that department. But especially when you think about wrestlers in the industry, I mean, Eddie is beloved. I mean, just like I don't think you can watch 1 week of wrestling without somebody paying some sort of homage to Eddie Guerrero. So, boy, that's a good one. I mean, championships, main eventer, Stardom, Brock's got him heads and tails.
Easily.
Who I cared about more would be Eddie Guerrero. He was more my flavor of what I was looking for in professional wrestling. I just got done listening to Squared Circle Gazette. You know, they were covering WWF in mid to late 2000, and god damn, they played the entire clip of a promo that Eddie cut on China. And I'm sorry, but submit that shit to the Oscars. He was that fucking good in that. I mean, just I don't know if a wrestler has ever cut that passionate and convincing of a promo than Eddie did in that one. I mean, Dwayne has certainly never acted that well. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, he played the jealous asshole so well in that promo.
Yeah. So, that's a great question. I love these questions. It's fantastic. Because again, it's like, how do you grade them? It's so, I mean, how can you remove, your personal preference on this kind of stuff? If like, that's why to me, like wrestling has always been subjective. It's like I know a lot of people can watch it and be objective, but that's never been my way because I just watch it too much as a fan, I suppose, and maybe not with quite the eye of someone trying to break it down, perhaps. But I would probably give Eddie the slightest of nods. I just think his career was longer and more interesting than The Rock's.
Dwayne, if you count even the mini runs, was probably around the business in the ring for 9 years.
Yeah.
It's got to count for something because he really wasn't injured. He had one major injury, and that was after the WrestleMania the WrestleMania 29 match with Cena where he busted his ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Bad. So
was it his ribs? I thought he tore something.
Or he tore his oblique. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Something had to do with his midsection. Yeah, I win Eddie by about 3 spots.
All right. I like it. Very nice.
Yeah.
I would put Sean in front of The Rock, I think.
I had Rock ahead of him by 4 spots.
Boy, that's tough. I do not envy you having to put together that list because I don't know if I could ever like put it away for good. I think I'd always be tinkering with it.
Hey, it comes back up in 10 years. If I'm still around watching wrestling and trying to grade this stuff, I'll do some crazy stuff. Terry Funk and Bryan Danielson finished 1-2 in this thing.
Really?
Yep.
I like it. I don't think I could argue with that.
Terry.
Love it.
Yeah.
Especially just coming off of our classics. I mean, Terry Funk was special.
Mm-hmm. I know. I wish we were around for his 70s and 80s stuff.
I wish we had a great Danielson and Terry Funk match.
Jeez.
How fucking like a early mid 2000s Ring of Honor match between those two? Feud? God damn, that would have been good.
I know how they work promo wise, they would be just fine. How would that work in the ring?
I mean, Danielson's good enough that he could, he can brawl if he needs to. I think he could have that kind of match. He's not afraid of getting physical.
Oh, I want Terry's knees to turn back the clock to like 1982.
Oh, man. Yeah. I like that. Terry Funk number 2. I'd be curious how high other people have him or how he kind of grades out. I'd be willing to bet that's about the highest anybody would have him.
Yes. I had Funk 2 behind Flair.
Yeah.
Flair was top 5. You'd be proud to know the last thing Bret Hart's ranking in this whole thing was 9.
9. Well, kind of low in my opinion.
9.
Well, at least he made your top 10.
Yeah. And the whole GWE, he made it. He was 9.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was 9th.
Huh.
Yeah. A lot of heavy weight towards Japan here in this list, too.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, yeah, if you're looking at the American stuff, Brett would have been 1, 2, 3. Probably would have been 6th.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I'd have him higher, but hey, I'm a mark.
we are in different ways.
Jesse,
So,
let's wrap this up. This game is looking like it's getting pretty juicy here.
it is about that time. Yep. It's exactly where I was about to go. So that was our 10 minutes too long GWE conversation, just throwing some extra stuff together, a lot of AEW discussion, and we probably got something special in the works here in the next couple of weeks. So pay attention very, very closely. I will be going live with an unplugged episode, or at least for Spotify and Google next Monday. So look for that to be unleashed, where it'll be probably 40% current, 60% retro match. Highly looking forward to it. Any other closing thoughts before we go, Mr. Nixon 6?
Hey, look for me wherever Ryan and Jesse tell me to be. That's where I am.
BlueSky.
Go Knicks.
I feel so weird rooting for the Knicks, but I am too.
I actually kind of hope they lose this game just because of circumstances, but I want them to win the title.
Yeah, you have it as Knicks in 6. I want Knicks in 5. I want them to close it in MSG.
That would be 6 then.
Wouldn't it be 5? I thought the middle 3 games are played in New York.
I thought it was 2-2-1-1-1.
We'll look it up off the air.
All right.
Yeah. I think that's the only thing is I think it goes 2-3-2. Every other series goes 2-2-1-1-1.
We will check.
All right. And with that being said, for Justin Joint, my name is Jesse Velasquez. Go Knicks. And that is episode 419 of Top Rope Nation. We'll see you on the flip side.
Peace.